invite me to a party soon. Like for a PlayStation. What?
You're already
at the very least, but now high ground completely thrown into disarray and prison.
Yeah, he just invited me, my friend, to a PlayStation party. So if you want to stream that, we can do that, and I'll do the PlayStation thing. If you want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mostly be streaming this because why not?
Alright. See ya.
Bye.
It's actually gonna be a front side. Another later transition.
Does not end. To a PlayStation party. So if you want to stream that, we can.
Moneymaker, Tidy, all getting chopped out, dropped underneath, and Moneymaker. It's gonna be the first one to fall from his team, but Tidy, F9, if they can get a refresh, they might still be able to make something happen here, but F9, he only has a sliver of HP. Podesai chasing him down. Squeeze delivers. Werix has fallen. Meme has the opportunity now. Gentle Mates, another team getting sent forward. But Podesai taken down. Ortiz ready to play spoiler. Squeeze can't hold on. It's 1 versus 3. And Ivan, Ifrozi, Levin called it at the start of this show. Surprises have happened here, Takada, and they bring it home at the end.
I know Levin's got a big smile on his face. He said, I told you they have what it takes. And in game 4, they closed it out, playing it patiently from the low ground. You can see the connections coming through from Ivan, Elim after Elim, putting the pressure on Height, making sure his team is looking extra healthy for those final moments. And with the last shot getting connected, they're able to close out the match and put themselves into the major finals. Look, I need to stop speaking because I want to hear what Levin has to say. The major finals. Look, I need to stop speaking because I want to hear what Levin has to say about his trio qualifying.
So, Levin, you were saying the top 5 playing without pressure trios included a trio that qualified, I think, in 93rd place, and that trio just happened to get a victory royale. Talk to us about how you're feeling right now.
I'm just. Oh, he's like, yeah. I can say a lot right now. I love how Takara called them my team as well. He's like, yeah, 11's team, like I'm coaching them or something. Nah, it's not like that. Look, the reality is, you know, when you've been watching Fortnite as long as I have, the eyes don't lie. Do you know what I'm saying? This team passed the eye test. When I've watched them, they've played really good Fortnite, and they've done it as well in previous group stages this year. It's not like they're a team from out of nowhere completely. They've had experience in lobbies like this. You know, to close out the win in that way was very clinical of them. And some pop-up players as well, bigger limbs. It's not like they just walked through and they were playing, you know, low ground, hiding in the lobby, and they bided their time. Nah, they took the game by storm there, Mini.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the chaos up on high ground actually really helped them out because, of course, so many players up there were each trying to go for it. It was a bit of a mess up there for a lot of time, and I think a lot of those players were then dropping on down to the low ground, in which case these guys are like, yeah, come on down, we'll have all that loot, and they just played it so well, again, sticking together so well, using that experience in these sort of lobbies to their advantage as well, and I think it's just really well played from these guys when it comes to their fragging ability. You mentioned at the beginning of the show, Levin, expecting big things, and here they are doing it.
Love to see it.
We're going to head to a short break. As you can tell, I'm back. I will not be interrupting my analysts.
name. I gave my life into my place, earned everything that I claimed. Nothing ever could replace me. 3-4-3-4, spread ass on the floor. This is not a ball, I'm above it all. Start, I see my glow up where you supposed to go. Post it on the low, can't lose it, find the go. Leave me in the zone, I take your mind and then I snatch your soul. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it known. I get it, they love my whole aesthetic. They got so listen, told you this ain't hypothetical. Answer the call, prove this once and for all. Can't reach me with an arrow, summer nights I never fall. No cattle, the goat don't wear a saddle. Go riders off my body, cut them off, they yak and sloppy. Already, I consume the petty. The vision's 2020, believe your eyes are winning. Turn up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it known. This is what got the match built like a pro. You know the legends go, harder than this audio. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it known. Up the track, going deep, I'm in the zone. You know I'm about to go, harder than hard to go. When the lights shine bright, that's my show. Burn up and see the glow, I'm gonna make it known.
Welcome back to FNCX Europe. We have got just one more game left of Group 3. There's going to be some trios already preparing for the last chance qualifier, but every single trio still has the chance to qualify if they manage to get a victory royale in this final game. However, we have to talk about the trios where they currently stand in terms of consistency. Vico, Flixie and Veno, they had a poor start to the lobby. However, they're starting to pick up momentum, Levin.
Yeah, they're picking things up. That game was a bit of a cleaner one in terms of, you know, they weren't as frag heavy towards the end game there. But I felt like they had a bit more control. They had a bit more of a sense of direction, Minnie.
Yeah, they did. It was a lot better from these guys. It's exactly what we would expect to see from these guys in terms of the way that they're playing. I really like the way that they tried to go for height as well. That was sort of later on. They tried to do that sort of retake that they do so well, getting to that front side, spraying out height, and then making their way up. I think it was Veno that went down inside of the storm, and then Vico tried to help him out, try to get some of the loot off of Veno's body. Didn't quite work out for them. That kind of sort of send them into a little bit of a frenzy, but some of the best teams like these guys can pick up the pieces in those situations. And when you have players like Flixie and Veno and Vico, I should say, that are just able to duo clutch like that, you know you're going to be down for a good game.
If we take a look at the standings as well, we can see that, I mean, as well as this lobby being incredibly competitive, I guess that's what you'd expect, you might not expect Akira, Kurama and Werix to be right at the top of the consistency leaderboard, Mini Miner.
I mean, it's consistency, but it's also fragging. Look at that, 35 points for those, 35 eliminations, I should say, for these guys right now. Absolutely incredible. They're getting a lot of them in these sort of end game stages as well, Evan. They're getting to these positions really well, and of course, making the most of it when they get there. I think this could be the best French team that's on the region right now.
No, this has truly been a masterclass in endgame fragging from these guys. Mechanically, all of them are just feeling it, right? All of them have had their moments. Akira in this game was the one that was popping off. In the other game, it was Werix, who claims he has no aim in his name, who was absolutely out-aiming everyone he was dueling. So all of these guys can do it. They can all step up, Kurama especially as well. Let me shout him out. I'm loving what I'm seeing from these guys right now.
Yeah, Werix is just conditioning his opponents. Let's talk about our other French trio then. Podosai, X-Squeeze and Artskill. Now, they got given Demon's Domain for free after Queasy's Victory Royale in game number 2, but have they been capitalizing on it, Levin?
This had to be the game. This really did. They're primed up on height. Yes, they're a duo. But, you know, they survive, right? They survive some of the more difficult parts. Like when Werix is coming up, if he hits a couple big shots and maybe a game's done there, it's these final closing moments against Ivan's trio below. That 4 damage from Podosai honestly could be the difference maker. Maybe he's able to stay alive there, take down Ifrozy, and then you have a 2v1 against Artist right above. And then you might, you know, you give yourself a chance, that you give yourself a fighting chance. Small margins are the difference makers here. They're just on the outside, Mini. But if they don't make it now, they'll be looking back at that game as, wow, we really had our chance there.
Yeah, misplay. I think he was stuck inside of two minds there. Do I go back into the zone, try and help out Frag? Do I try and go back into the storm and then heal off with this Chug Jug, maybe find some extra heals? Don't think Podesai was quite too aware as to what he was thinking about doing right there, but they've put themselves in a good position. 12th place, they can still clutch up and get inside that top 5.
Sorry, man, this group is too stacked, bro. Look at the page right now. Look at the amount of names who might not make it. I'm looking straight at 14. I drop Hari and Cammy right now on the outside of the consistency places. A good game will do it for them here. But that is a load of pressure on this game, right? Pressure that I'm sure they can handle. But this is a team they've not been anonymous today. Like, they've had really good games. We've seen them up on high. We've seen them in situations primed to win games. And the possibility of these guys not even making it through to the major finals after this next game would be catastrophic. This would be a huge upset.
Well, I thought this was going to be the game for them. They set up really well. They did exactly what Cammy's known for, being in a good position, now playing high as well. Just lacking those eliminations we saw right there. I think they had 2 for the team. They weren't ever going to be able to have the materials to stay up there. So they need to turn it on now for this last game because it's now on ever.
Well, when we saw the lobby list for Group 3, we all knew that heartbreak was going to be inevitable. There's going to be tears for some of these trios. Some of them tears of joy because they will have qualified for the Major 3 finals after this game. Take it away, Taco and Takata.
Look, I know everybody can't be winners here today, Takata, but it is brutal what might take place after this final lobby. Everything is essentially on the line because, again, nobody wants to try and stake their bets through the last chance qualifier.
I'm scared, and I'm not even playing. I'm just watching the games, and I'm feeling the pressure from spectating these matches. Levin was pointing it out, but the amount of names on that second page not yet in qualifying range, it's looking like a finals already, and this is just the 3rd group. 1 match is all that's left before we see our final trios that are going to qualify to the major finals. The only thing left after this final group stage is that last chance qualifier where 3 trios make it through, but we don't have to wait any longer. Let's kick off the last game of the day.
And even when we step away from that consistency metric for the leaderboard, there's 1 spot left up for grabs in winning this final match here, Takata. And in Game 5, I truly believe we are about to witness some real maniacs on display. Because some of these teams, they know I don't have a singular chance. I've been losing every single one of these 50-50s off spawns. I only have the win as my win con. And Karma, Sato, Split, for the first time ever, uncontested at Outpost. The message has been established. This is our turf.
I mean, it's a good time to be uncontested. Sato and his trio are literally the cutoff. They're in 10th place right now, so they do need to have a decent match here, and now the safety of being uncontested is going to give them a little bit of time to relax, but a drop spot that has been contested basically every single match throughout the day except for 1 is Canyon Crossing.
Could be some serious trouble on the horizon here for Hammy, Kev, and Ratty. They've largely been getting the better end of this exchange, but any delay is still a delay. Pump Power also shifting a bit here. Keto having already been knocked. Mongrel and Ijo, they're gonna have to hit the road here. This is their last chance, and they basically need a win to pull through, Takata.
Seeing them win in the last match would be hype, but they've got a long ways to go, and the way it's looking right now, no more builds. 14 shots total for Mongrel with a full trio that has shield pushing you. I'd give them a 10% chance here to come out on top.
You almost want to close your eyes. You kind of just don't want to watch it happen. Not again. Mongrel missing out on the Major 3 Grand Finals, but that's just the level of competition that we're dealing with. Mongrel has been knocked. Haijo, just a sliver of HP, trying to keep the dream alive. Literally 1 HP and a dream. And some footwork, apparently. Shixie gonna go right by. Haijo, this is the ultimate game of hide and go seek. His life is quite literally on the line. falls, takes out Glove for it, but the damage has been done. We are not going to be seeing Mongrel and his team in the Major 3 Grand Finals. A heartbreaking outcome for right now, Takada, because they're still the last chance qualifier.
Still possible, but a lot more difficult now for the Big Grawl. Looking at Lone Wolf. ADN here trying to figure out what's the play. Another 1 versus 3.
Lone Wolf Lair hasn't really had a whole lot of overview at the starting point. We've just been seeing so many off-spawn contests from various positions on the map. Can't watch them all break down, but for Scary, Sean, Voldy, and Ford, this team has been very proactive in the early game, Takada. I mean, we've witnessed them find at least 1 or 2 teams, it seems like, to really just catch off guard, get those eliminations, but they might be on the receiving end for once. Kian continues kind of sneaking up here onto Scary Sean, also making sure to look back. Thought that he heard one of Scary's teammates. But Scary, he doesn't seem like he's even aware of the fact that this solo is still waiting for that opportunity to strike. Might even just be looking to wait things out. Kian knows I could maybe just look to play for a reboot, but took matters into his own hands. He just wants to go down fighting. And his wish might be Forge's command. As Ford will take that last elimination there. Now a solid 3. And Scary's gonna continue to span out there at Lone Wolf.
Benno taking the 1v1 that's soon gonna turn into a 3v1 here. The knock comes through. Now, Vico Venoflixi are in 9th, so technically qualifying range, but nowhere to be fully comfortable. It is top 10 that makes it through. We have names like Mr. Savage's trio in 11th, Podeside's trio in 12th, Cammy's in 14th, all outside of qualifying range. Now with only this last match to make something happen. It was devastating what happened to Savage in the last game, but we're going to look at Fido, who was leading the pack to consistency just a moment ago, but now needing to secure their spot. These eliminations could do it.
These fights on the outskirts of the map, Raku, Fido, Cringe, they're hoping that they can come together, and the starting point could be finding some early eliminations. They clearly need more than that. Not a lot of builds. This fight has been drawn out for quite some time now. And Cringe kind of just recognizing this is no longer worth, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Let's just disengage. Gozia, Nazer, Lucky. They could still choose to just follow, but both of those teams kind of letting that engagement fizzle out.
Here we go. Mr. Savage chat reason from getting 3-2-1 to now doing the 3-2-1. Unfortunately, Kyrie wasn't able to get knocked, so now they are just going to close the gap a little further, pick up that dash sprite. And will they continue on forwards? It looks like they just might.
Kyrie's already had the chance, though, to reconvene with Casper and Prism. And Casper, Prism, they're just going to give their trio mate a chance to regulate his HP, heal up a bit. Reason spots out Prism by himself. He's going to close in onto the solo. But Reason, even with the shield crack, has to reload. Chap trying to help him follow up. Chap just looking to break through the builds. Trying to open up an angle there for Reason to take advantage of. And there's still Savage working his way around. Very easy to lose sight where some of Chap's teammates are actually making their way towards. Chap still building overhead. Casper a little bit trapped now, but Casper, Kyrie, Prism, they're doing a great job. Whenever one is holding one angle, the other immediately shifts to the next, but they slip up for a moment, and that's going to be enough damage done. Chap just trying to get into the box now. Going to force a Medinus grenade, and that's going to be a slight pullback here. Chap now looking to shift his focus back onto Prism. And Casper, Kyrie, still just tangling with Reason and Mr. Savage overhead. But this has been going on for quite some time now, Takada. Both sides burning an even amount of materials, but Casper, Kyrie, Prism, they were hoping to get some refarm going since they had already surge-based up, so they haven't had a chance to really gather as much material there as Savage's team.
Yeah, and although it's been going on for a while, there hasn't been any opposing kind of third-party trios getting close, but with the amount of damage that Savage, Chap, and Reason got, I think they're kind of happy with the outcome and are going to choose to disengage now. Don't want to take any further risks. Vox, though, Loki and Tricks here are okay to get right on in, and after that initial knock, they're going to try and close it out as Vox does go down, but it looks like his teammates are going to be able to close it out.
Luckily enough for him, Tricks definitely hold strong here. Floki going to be the first one to be revived. A little bit of a messier exchange, but once you've already won the fight, that's all you really need. They can definitely recuperate everything that was lost from this point on.
It's a good way to kick things off, especially in that last match. You want to be able to just kind of focus on your positioning and route instead of constantly thinking about how to get enough damage. But speaking about getting enough damage, two of our most consistent trios of the day, making sure to follow the meta.
Pink Nebs and Kiro have had a little bit more of a steady pace through the mid games, but it's been such a steep emphasis on positioning, and it has just been awesome to see that switch up. But zooming back in towards Outlaw Oasis, Peshka picks off Moneymaker, and these kinds of opening strides, it's a tough break there for the kid, but F9, Tidy, they're all just going to be collected as aftermath there. It's a dangerous game to play, but last chance qualifier is sometimes going to be their best bets. Cammy, Hydra, Party though. Vico, Veno, Flixie have no idea what actually sits directly behind them. They're trying to be so stealthy about this. They waited for Aspire to play the distraction measures here. But Hydra, Cammy, Hardy, if they're not careful, if they don't secure this initial knock onto at least one of the members from the trio, this could 180 immediately.
Yeah, you gotta be careful here, as now the disengage is gonna come through. A lot of fights here by Brutal Box Cards throughout the day, but it's always different when it's your last chance in this match. Gonna make sure they're gonna help you on materials here before committing to anything. What I like about Vico, Veno, Flixie is even if the pressure's on, even if they're on the lower half of the leaderboard, or it is that last match, they're still not scared to take on fights.
Looked like Veno was getting some good tags there onto Cammy at the very end. Have to tune back in later, see whether or not Veno actually chooses to play that a little bit more aggressively with the rest of his team. But if you are sitting outside of that consistency metric for the leaderboard, switching things up, trying to take more aggressive roaming, that seems to be the intent here from Peshka. Still in Crime City, fighting things out. And Peshka, big shots. That knock onto Godoy could be all the difference here. Just needs to wait for that Siphon to start playing a part. And Wuka definitely still healthy enough. They can delay this 1 versus 2 against Zianen and Marvik, but all they want is